Hello, everybody. This is your host, Odd Job Entertainment, bringing you another stream today. How are we doing tonight? Looks like we already got one viewer on YouTube side. Cool. All right. So it's been a week since our first stream with the Constellation Alphas. I've had some time to actually go through and set up some keybinds and drop all my tools on the floor. So, been doing my homework, been filling out the keybind sheet. I've got something that is workable. It's not perfect. Some of that comes down to some potential complaints that I have about the sticks. Other parts of it are just, I need to figure out how I want to do things a little better. And the rest of it is the solution does not exist yet, but that is what we're here to take care of on this channel, is we look for ways to make our stuff better. So we know that we need a split trigger mod for the alphas. That was the first mod that we knew we were going to be working on, but in this last week of having the alphas, I've actually got a few ideas of some other things that would actually make these the next step up. I'm excited. But before we get into that, we do have some new content from CIG, and I want to do a quick mod to my Allen keys. These are the I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. It is a German company. I think it's Vera, but it's spelled Wera. They've been really good tools. I like them a lot, except for this plastic sheath on them. I really don't like it in certain situations. Show you a close-up of the yellow one here. I don't know if you'll be able to make that out on camera, but that sheath gets damaged pretty easily, and it also prevents me from accessing some of the more recessed holes on it prevents me from accessing recessed bolts, right? So I did a quick little change to my 3mm. This is what you need to adjust the damping on the alpha constellations or constellation alphas, and just by trimming back that sheath a little bit, oh man, it's so much better. So I have the same set of tools at work, and I did the same mod today, and I was trying it out on a bunch of different bolts, and it completely changes the game. So we're going to do that here. I've got my tiny Swiss Army knife. This is a blade that I don't particularly care about. And let's see, I'll switch to the cam view. All you gotta do is, I'm cutting just below where the number indicator ends, and then I'm just rolling it against the hilt of the blade. And that does a pretty good job of keeping everything straight. Maybe this little Swiss Army knife is a little more dull than I thought. So give it another pass. And then you're just going to cut up. Okay, I need a sharper knife. I'm going to cut myself. All right. Let's see. We've got. I didn't want to use my Kershaw because I don't want to dull it. I'm pushing it against tool steel here. But more important than not cutting or not damaging the blade is not cutting myself. So blades can be resharpened, fingers can't be regrown. So you just remove a stripe of material like that, and then it will just peel off from your score line. And just like that, you have trimmed back the sheath. Now whenever you have a recessed bolt for a 5mm Allen key, you'll have a much easier time reaching it. Conveniently, Torque Test Channel actually released a video today where they tested a bunch of different Allen key sets, and Vera ended up being one of the top 3 brands. And that's really good news because it was not the most expensive brand. The set that we are modifying right now is $40. So it's not as cheap as an Amazon Basic set, but it's half the price of a PB Swiss set. And you're getting the same-ish level of performance. So there's our 4 done. You know, that's our, what was that, 2.5? That's 2. Uh, 1.5. What do we got left? We already did 6. We got the 8 and the 10. All right, last one. And just to show you the grip I'm using, I am trying to be safe. If I somehow manage to cut through the wrench, I'm trying to position it so that I would not hit my finger. There are better tools that would be a better fit for this. But, do be careful if you try to do this on your own. Don't cut yourself. All right. So they've all been trimmed to just below the number marker, so you can still easily read them. And I mean, it's still going to say metric on it's still going to say the sizes on the case, right? So I mean, you'll still know what you're grabbing. But just that little change gives you much better access to all those potential recess bolts. And we're actually going to use that today to work on the alphas. Part of why we did this. So, well, I guess I don't need it quite yet, but those will be ready for when we need them, and they'll be much easier to use now that we've made that change. There you go. If you get these tools, I do highly recommend them. I think they're great Allen keys. They're very strong. You get great torque, and they are a very hard steel, so you will have a very hard time damaging them. And if you find that you struggle to reach those recess bolts, just trim the sheath back a little bit. There you go. Pro tip. And one of the things I need to reconsider here in the near future is this microphone holder. It has been okay in the time that we've had it, but with this new armrest setup, if I don't have it in just the right position, the microphone kind of rests on my shoulder. I think we can probably move it up a bit. You know what? Let's do that right now, actually. Let's see. I think that's going to be this size. Oh, nope. Too small. If I could have a superpower, I think it would be grabbing the correct size wrench every time. That would be a pretty cool power. Welcome, chat. Looks like we got 4 viewers. How we doing? There we go. That's up quite a bit higher. Retighten that now. There we go. Oh, that's a lot better. Honestly, maybe that did not look like a ton of movement on screen, but 1,000 times better. Oh my gosh. I like to move around a lot, and feel like I can probably get this to a point where I could do some arm stretches. Not quite. Might need to still adjust it a little bit. Welcome, Draconis. I'm a little late. Love Wear Tools. Have you seen the comments about the forward triggers? I mean, we did release a new version of the forward triggers. Has there been additional comments on the Etsy? Seems like I visit your store a lot. There's a pulls up in my speed dial. Um, Sugar. Let's see. We did read this one. Wait, no, this is on the old one. Oops. Um, okay, how do I separate comments for just this item? That one's for the old one. Recognize that logo. This logo pops up in my chat quite a bit. Um, no, where am I supposed to see these comments? Pause that. I haven't watched this. I was good. We can get a live reaction today. Pull up Discord, I guess. Discord might be needing to find an alternative based on some of the things I've heard. Okay, I don't have any messages from Draconis, so it's not there. I'll let you get back to me. I'm going to keep going. So other issue I've been running into with my equipment, particularly these guys, these Odyssey Maxwells, they they don't work. Watch me try and turn them on, and then they're going to work this time. Wait. They definitely won't because I don't... Oh, wait, no. I do have it plugged in. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. All right. Time to break out Old Reliable again. I keep putting them away because I keep hoping that I'll have a solution worked out. But here we are, getting out the wired headphones again. Okay, in the file troubleshooting channel on Discord. Let's check that out then. Oh. Oh, this is a problem. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, I did check for this, but it's always possible I missed something. Let's take a look here. let's get this squared away. Okay, so we're currently looking at the 10-degree variant. Well, actually, I don't think this variable actually corresponds with that anymore. Is it here that we're changing it? Yes. Yeah, see, the problem is the variables only work with positive values, and this actually needs to be -10 in order to be 10, right? But let's start by troubleshooting with the 0 degree. And then based on the angle, this is changing the distance that it extends. So let's show that. So remember what it looked like at 0. With 10, it's actually encroaching a little bit, isn't it? Okay. Was there another change I made in order to make that work? Yeah, yes, there was. Okay. It's the move. Is it this one? No. There's a move face, I'm pretty sure. This one. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so when I created the original exports, I altered these 2 details to make it work. So what we can do, we hide this part for now. We know that we have to fit this piece in there, right? And we have to fit this in there somehow. So of the 2, this is probably our biggest constraint. We can double check that. Put the forward trigger back in place. And yes, it's definitely, we're seeing a bit more blue than we are seeing green, right? So that's our biggest problem part. That's the one we need to size everything to. So let's figure out this size here. And we can use our I want to get a more exact measurement than that. So let's do this. Let's create a sketch. And then we'll bring these 2 parts of the sketch in. And then we'll create a perpendicular line. All right. And then we can measure this. So 1.42 centimeters. We want to build in a margin of error. So let's bump that up to 1.5. That's 15 millimeters. Then we can bring this back. And we can hide these 2 parts and that sketch. Go away. And we can measure what the current distance is between these. And that's the center to center distance for those axes, which you can tell is definitely too small for this. Because if it's going center to center, it should be quite a bit bigger. All right, no problem. Let's make some adjustments then. First, I want to do the same thing and create a sketch, because I can use this to track how we're doing. And then we're going to use the coincident mate to line this up with the two with these two center points. Not you. Just like that. So what we're getting is the minimum distance between these two circles. And we need this to equal 1.5. Right now we're off by just under 5 millimeters. Now this might be a problem. Now hold on a minute. I know that this worked, because this is basically no changes have been made. And I have this part right here without the changes made. I've tested this thoroughly already. What am I missing here? Is there a smaller way to get that in there? Let's see. Let's take a look at the section view. Yeah, original design was fine. That's what I'm saying. Like that part should work. But according to the measurements, we're having an issue. So I think what's happening is I'm not accounting for this indentation here, right? We measured here, and that is the widest part, but you don't necessarily have to get that in, right? Because you can bring this face up to here, and you can angle it in, or kind of, you know, rock it in. So, okay. I know what measurement we need to use. All right, now we can measure a distance between these two, and now we're golden. All right, so this is 1.1. That's going to be a lot easier to accommodate. Okay, good. Okay, it does look like there is. Double check that. Yeah, let's adjust this a little bit. There's a little bit of a hangover here that could prevent you from being able to get it in. And let's just do that. Okay. So that bumped it up to 1.114. So let's shoot for 12 millimeters, or 1.2. That gives us a little bit of a fudge factor just to make sure that everything works. So we can bump this up by a little bit. Let's unsuppress this. And right now, we see that this is 1.027. Let's change this to 0.2. Well, make it 0.25 because it's having a little bit of issue with the intersection there. 1.15. Close. What was our key value? It's so close, dang it. That should actually be good enough. It'll be a little tight getting it in there, but it should work. So I am going to export this, and I'm going to upload it to Printables and Things right now. That way it's at least available. This should work, but you know, I'll do some testing off camera to make sure that everything's good. I'll make sure to revisit this during this next week to make sure that everything is copacetic. But let's go through the export process. Secondary and primary did not change, so we're not going to export those. Let's just export the forward trigger. And then it's really important for the user experience to make these as clear as possible. That's not something that I've always been good at, but I am trying to get better at it. And we need to export this as a 3MF. Where did I put it? Okay, yeah, design projects. Trigger mod v3. See, you guys can see I'm getting ready. We are going to be making a Virpil version here soon. Okay, so I called this. All right, let's use the same naming convention so that we don't cause any undue confusion. Degree V3.2. Okay. Now for the next one, let's check our 0. Make sure that that one works. This is our smallest version. And we've got a little more leeway here. So let's set that back to 0.4. 0.4 is too much. What does that get us? Okay, that's not right. Needs a little more space. I'm not happy with that. That's not going to work. But if we do 0.3, fails. Look at that. I mean, that is better, isn't it? But still no cigar. Needs to be at least 1.15. So this isn't the best way to be making this change, and the reason why is we're moving these filleted faces, and that's what's causing the issues where some of the values don't work where others do. What I imagine if we do the 0.3, I bet that this corner ends up too close to this vertex, right? And that's causing the feature to fail. So let's try this. Let's try moving you down below that move. Yeah, see how that's better stitched together? That's definitely what it was. So now if we check this, that value hasn't changed. I bet we'll have more leeway with getting this to behave. See? So we do still want to use something like 0.25. And that gives slightly over the cushion that we need. That is a good resolution. We'll use that. Let's export this one. And then we make our last version. And we want to back it up just a little bit. That works. No problem, Draconis. I want this mod to be popular. I want it to work very well. And it means a lot to me that people enjoy it. So it needs to be good. So if there's ever an issue with something I designed, I always want to try and fix it. This one happened to be pretty simple, so you know, pretty easy to get it back on track. But I was not aware of the post there, so I appreciate you bringing it to my attention. I want to get this fixed. Okay, so let's go into that folder then. Open file location. Let's fix this name. That one ended up being a little derpy. And that was just the 3 of them loaded together. I'm not going to bother making that one again. That was really just so I could check and make sure that all the changes applied correctly. Well, might as well. It doesn't hurt anything. Let's just do it. Range. And then I'm just staring across the bow here, making sure that they all look slightly different. And they do. So the angles were applied correctly. So let's save project as. Grab that one. There we go. Batch. And because this was made with Orca Slicer, these will probably scale correctly if you do open them in a resin slicer. That's one of the issues that you do run into with the different slicers is they don't always interpret your instructions the same way. Ooh, I was leaning forward pretty nasty there. My neck feels better. I should have scooched forward sooner. All right, now let's zip these together. Like that. Let's pull up fangs. Oh, no. Things has the weirdest user interface. I really don't like it. But it's what we got. Which one's the latest one? I guess it's this one, huh? Let's check this. Okay, let's just do the edit model. Okay, it's definitely this one. Okay, we're on the right track. Let's get rid of that. And rename that so that it looks the same as what was there before. And I put an update in here. I really wish I could like see more of this. Here we go. Oh, there. Look at that. Update. 02 13 2026. That because we're gonna have to do the same thing on printables. And there we go. Now I just save and publish. So that one's done. Get printables loading. This guy. Edit. Multiples just has it so much better. So let's get rid of that garbage. And instead, put this one. Boom, there we go. Okay, so I'll re-upload. All right, cool. Side quest done. Problem solved. All right, and with that, I think I've got a tiny bladder today. I need to go pee real quick. I will be right back. Quick trip. Don't worry, I use hand sanitizer. According to more recent studies, hand sanitizer is the more effective method of keeping your hands free of germs, so long as you don't slip and poke your bum when you're trying to wipe. Or so long as you don't get your fingers soiled is the more technical jargon that they use, but we all know what that means. The reason why this preview takes forever is because I think it's trying to load the version that has all the little balls on it. And that has a lot of geometry, and Things' interface does not play well with that. But it's there. If you're having issues before, try it out now. It should work. Now, let's get into this content. We got a new ship. Sorry, I was running over the umbilical. Still working out some of the kinks with this new setup. I need to reinforce that little bit. There we go. There's the labels. Also, it feels like it's hot in here. Are you guys hot? What is my AC set to? was set to 72. Let's bump it down a little bit though. I'm toasty. Probably just that I'm on camera. Makes me a little nervous all the time. Oh well. All right, so CIG released a new ship. Let's do this like I'm going to do a video. Let's see. So, hello everybody. This is Odd Job Entertainment bringing you another video. And today we're going to be taking a quick look at the Argo Moth. We've got 2 videos put out by CIG this week. Argo Moth is the new salvage ship, medium salvage from Argo. Argo is known for the Mole, the Raft, the MPUV. Really solid industrial looking ships. I really like the way that they look. The Moth is the newest edition. I've got some thoughts. I have not watched this video. I did watch the other video that we're going to get to. Let's check this out.
Salvage. It's work. Solid and honest.
It's not much, but it's honest.
And built on instinct.
Like the meme.
It's believing that a simple bit of scrap could be a piece of something bigger. And here at Argo, we're born believers. In time spent searching, a crew worth standing by, and a ship that always earns its keep. It's just how we're built, I guess. Introducing the multi-operator targeted harvester.
I think it's undeniably kind of a corny name. Moth. Like Mole, you get it, right? A Mole is definitely a salvage ship. But what in the world does a Moth have to do with salvage, right? Or did I say that backwards? The Mole is definitely a mining ship. But the Moth, what does that have to do with salvage? It's built on the same chassis that is shared between the Raft and the Mole. It has the 3 turrets, just like the Mole does. And it actually has increased cargo compared to both of them. And that's where I think it gets a little weird. Right? So let's go to this site. Let's pull up the specs. And I think that it actually has a slight advantage over even what's listed here, because they said that it has a 288 total capacity if you include the buffers. But no, that would actually make sense, because right now it's got a buffer of 32, but it's supposed to be 32 per side. So that's currently bugged. It's a max capacity of 288 SCU of cargo if you have both buffers full and all the cargo space filled. A good portion of that is these side-mounted cargo sections. They go 4 out, and they're 4 tall and 6 long. So 4 by 4, 16 by 6. I can't do that in my head. Is that 96? If it's 96, I'm going to feel really proud of myself. It is 96. Look at that. You'd think I do math all day or something. So you have 96 times 2. So 192 SCU in these 2 sections. But then you also have a cargo section back here on a drop-down gate. And that's how you get your total capacity of the, what was that, 224? Yes. As the pilot, you have access to 2 size 2 guns, and then the co-pilot has access to the missile turret. As far as I understand, the pilot cannot use that missile turret without the co-pilot. So kind of a weird choice there. Now, the Raft, which is the cargo ship sharing this chassis, has a capacity of 196 SCU. Yeah. Oh, sorry. 192. I was mistaken. You can carry 632 SCU boxes. So the cargo variant carries less than the salvage ship. And that seems kind of weird to me. And then the mining ship, which does a very similar function in many aspects to the salvage ship, carries much less. It only carries 96. Now, with that said, the reason why it's 96 is because each of those bags is supposed to deploy up to 3 times, and you get a total capacity of 288, right? I don't know why I didn't just open Desmos here. That way you guys can see the same math I'm doing. Yeah, 288. So what you're supposed to do with the mole is when you get it filled up with the 96, you have a ship come by and take away the first set of bags and load it onto a refinery ship like the Galaxy or the Expanse, right? Then the next bags start to fill up. And then you take those away once those are full, and then you have one more set of bags to fill up before you get to the 288 total capacity. That's how you reach full capacity for your trip. So it's not something that you can do all in one go. And that is, I think, a problem, because if you think about functionally the level of difficulty and the level of investment for time and effort, mining and salvage are very similar in many aspects. You mean to tell me that you can get 288 SCU of cargo without any assistance, but in order to get that same level of cargo for the mole, you need to have another ship there to help you out? That just seems a little imbalanced to me. I think they should probably reconsider that, and they should definitely reconsider what they're doing with the cargo grid for the Raft. I think the easy solution here is just allow the Raft to go 4 deep, right? That would push it up into the cargo, the cargo mid, or the medium cargo size more forcefully, right? That would give it a capacity of 384. I think, given that it is a cargo variant sharing the same chassis as all these other ships, that should be where it sits. It should have a clear advantage over its 2 sister ships, at least as far as that cargo aspect goes, right? All right, so now we get to the other frustrating aspect of the Moth, and that comes revealed here in this video. Moth, still a corny name. I like those suits. Are those actually available in-game?
Much requested medium salvager for Star Citizen.
It's supposed to fill the gaps between our small single-siege salvage ships, such as the Vulture and the Salvation, and the massive Aegis Reclaimer.
Small salvage ships, they produce rubble. The large one, like the Reclaimer, they produce construction material salvage. And the medium ship, we create construction material pieces. The refining time for the rubble is the fastest. For the pieces, it's like in the medium part, whereas for the salvage, it's like the longest refining times it will take. For crafting.
Okay, so you got rubble, pieces, salvage, right? Small, medium, big. This is the first medium salvage ship, so it does pieces. It is currently the only ship that does that. You have the Reclaimer that does salvage, big pieces, and then everything smaller than the Moth does the rubble. Okay.
The difference between the 3 different construction material raw versions of it will be that basically retaining the quality of the material.
Yeah, they'll have different efficiency rates for how much you get
With the
for
Moth,
refining.
we wanted to take our medium operator sized ships that we have already, we have them all, it's a great ship, and pivot that system over into salvage.
They add some.
Sometimes you don't need to
Grabby
reinvent
hands.
the wheel, and we thought that building on top of the mole to make the Moth made perfect sense. The mole is successful as a mining ship, particularly multi-crew wise, due to the fact that it has all those turrets that can cover pretty much the entire 360 degrees
Sorry,
under the ship.
John
as well
Crew,
as
he's got
around
such
it.
a
It's not completely
great sense of humor. He cracks me up. Most of the time, when people talk about the mole, they are talking about it in the context of solo mining. I have taken it out in groups before, and it is fun when you can do that. But most of the time, you end up with at least one person, usually the pilot, doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes you can get 2 lasers onto a single rock. Sometimes you can get 2 lasers onto 2 different rocks. Never have I been able to get all 3 lasers going on 3 separate rocks. And usually with the sizes that you're dealing with, you've been trying to get as many lasers onto 1 rock as possible because you need that extra power to crack it. So if that is the intended gameplay, that is not what we got. Also, those rocks are super far away. I know that their distance markers are telling them to get the ship closer. There's no way that that is within range.
the entire 360 degrees under the ship as well as around it. It's not completely full
Play your game,
coverage,
John.
but it's pretty good. And the turrets have freedom of movement to really mine anywhere. And that really lends itself to salvage as well, which shares a lot of that sort of similar mechanics.
I do think this makes
I think
more
the
sense
Mole
in the
is
context of
a very
salvage.
successful ship in what it's built for. So getting the opportunity to revisit it with the lessons we've learned and put some new life into it with a slightly different role and slightly different purpose was really exciting.
And this allows us to iterate more easily on our current ships that are going out. But it also means that we can take some of those improvements and changes back to those original ships later down the line.
So someday you'll get some of these benefits
We've
to the
tried
Mole.
to make changes where they were needed, but not make changes for change's sake. But the kind of like the standout thing, if I'm honest, is it's the arms.
What's your favorite aspect of the Moth?
Yeah, my favorite aspect is the new grinders.
The giant munching arms that it's got on the front. They look great.
They just feel kind of super chunky, super industrial, super dangerous.
My favorite aspect of the ship is the grabby hands.
They look
Yep.
really cool.
See, I'm
and
not
get
crazy.
a
They
nice
make the
quirk
joke
to the shape.
themselves.
Probably the grabby hands.
Everybody says grabby hands. Why?
It is such a key part of the ship's visuals because they're very big, very industrial. There's lots of weight behind them, but
So here's a hot take. I think if you had just the vertical aspect, it wouldn't look nearly as suggestive as having the fingers out to the side, right? Like this versus that. I think if you just had the up and down arms, it would look a little better. That's just me.
at the same time,
Ultimately, it
there's also
does what
really
it's meant
intricate
to,
little
so who
details.
cares, right?
I was trying to make them look a bit intimidating, like a bit dangerous, like you really would want your hands to be caught in anything. It was also very fun to work on the animations to kind of figure out how on the different states the arms would kind of retract, the claws would open up, big hydraulic pistons kind of retracting, moving around.
I do think that they nail
And yeah, of
the
course, the
industrial
crushers
look
spinning.
of the tools. They look sick.
Are you aware that nearly a decade ago we had another system called grabby hands that has nothing to do with this?
No, I was not aware. What was that?
Are you aware
Just
that
Galeno
most games are
remembers.
not referring to internal tools from over a decade ago?
It takes a crew of 4, so far fewer than you need for the Reclaimer, but it actually gives you some multiplayer gameplay as opposed to the Vulture. All 4 of those players will be able to take part in the salvage gameplay loop. We have 3 manned turrets, each with a size 2 salvage head. And the pilot gets access to the main structural salvage crusher.
Can this ship be?
So that is actually a huge improvement over the mole in that, hey, the pilot actually gets to do something this time around. They only get to participate in part of it, but they do actually get to use the grabby hands where everyone else uses the lasers. So they're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs the whole time. I think that part is really cool.
Operated solo?
Yeah, like all our ships, it can be operated solo. But if you operate a ship solo of a certain size, you get some downsides to it.
It would just be a lot
Sorry,
of
got a shiver.
dancing around between the different seats. But at the same time, you're also going to be saving some time because you're going to be able to carry a lot more.
Yeah, see, that's
So
what
you're
most
gonna have
people
less
do with
ships
the
back
mole
and forth.
today is they just go up and down the ladder and they run it themselves.
What kind of defensive capabilities does this thing got?
Very minimal defensive capabilities. This is first and foremost an industrial ship. The pilot has 2 S2 slots available
Which
to
is,
them.
it's basically
the
nothing.
co-pilot gets access to a bespoke small missile rack with 16 S2 missiles.
That would be
belly
enough of a
of the ship has
deterrent to
changed
keep
quite a
ships
lot.
off of you, but not for very
We've now got
long.
this large
You're going to be
cargo
running.
grid that is in a vertical orientation. So when the salvage material is rejected out, it flows straight onto this large cargo grid that kind of takes up the majority of the belly of the ship.
One of the improvements over the mole chassis is the fact that the cargo grids are just normal cargo grids. Whilst the salvage output does automatically eject onto them and it does use standardized 8 SU crates, there's nothing to stop you putting any other cargo compatible item on those cargo grids, which allows you to then perhaps do a bit of cargo. Maybe you find some salvage on the way that you want to do. It doesn't limit you to doing one or the other. You do have the ability to do both at the same time.
The rear of the ship has a really nice cargo lift for 2 16 SCU containers. So you can get a bit
Clearly
of
enough
hauling
for a
gameplay in
vehicle.
there as well.
They show it
And just in front of
fitting
that is
an
the
Atlas.
old personnel
That's a
lift.
good use.
Both take you up into the newly sort of slightly reimagined cargo area.
That's what I'd actually like to try, though, is getting the Atlas onto the personnel elevator. Because if you can do that, you could probably just leave it there or have it step off a little bit, and then you don't use any cargo space for it.
From there to the left and right, you've got the entrances to the side salvage turrets, and then a ladder that leads you up onto the main deck.
One of the things
This
we
part
realised as we were
identical
working
to
on
the
ship
mole.
was to be able to get out some of the components out of the ship, we needed to widen the doors and widen the ladder down to the lower floor. And this gives a nice route through the ship to be able to get those ship items out.
That
To
is a big
the
improvement.
Rear of the ship from there are the beds and the bathroom and a couple of suit lockers. And then forwards from habitation is into the processing room.
We basically took the pre-existed engineering room from the mall and converted to a processing room.
Feels very hot, very industrial, and a little claustrophobic. You have an engineering screen in the middle. Some of the components have been sort of reshuffled around to make space for a big refinery, which is on board.
Forwards further still is the bridge, which has the
So
pilot
onboard
and
refinery.
co-pilot seats.
As we're kind of revisiting the cockpit,
That's probably
we've
not different
updated
from
it a little
other
bit, so we
cargo
brought in
or
a few new
salvage
interactions,
ships,
kind of
right?
modernised the view a little bit.
All right, so that's what Trog was talking about in chat. They removed an MFD. I'm not very hung up on that, actually. It's a really big problem before we had the MFD raycasting, but now that we have that feature back, I don't care that they take away an MFD. You can only interact with one at a time anyways, so I do like the improved visibility.
Things like the dashboard improvements, the interactive panels that we placed around the ship, those
And
sort of things will kind of be retrofitted
A bit of
back
polish
onto
just
the
to
mall as well.
bring these other assets in line with
Like
each
the
other.
Asgard and the Hermes, the Moth is a new hull based on an existing chassis, and that means it doesn't share paints with the Mole. Moth is a
Did you catch that? Let's play it a couple times.
new hull based on an existing chassis, and that means it doesn't share paints with the Mole. The Moth is
Onto the mall as well.
like the Asgard and the Hermes, the Moth is a new hull based on an existing chassis, and that means it doesn't share paints with the Mole.
But we are making
All right. maybe I'm not seeing it. What is so different between these ships that it is worth scuttling the potential goodwill of your players to sell them a skin twice? Right? The most expensive thing that you can own as a developer is the goodwill of your customers. When I work on a product at my job, customer feedback is everything. You want it to be perfect. And when the customer has a complaint, you want to try and address that as best you can. I mean, you just saw that here with us adjusting the files for the double trigger or the split trigger for the VKB, right? I was made aware of an issue I didn't know about. Boom, we got it fixed as soon as I found out, right? You cannot look at these ships and tell me that they can't share a paint. We already have a precedent set with ships like the Guardian, the Hornets, the Sabres, the Cutlass, as well as a few others that share paints across, frankly, much more drastic chassis changes. Let's look at the Sabre variants. Yeah, the Avengers as well. Thank you. Okay, so that's all the same model, actually. Here we go. All of these ships, totally different. Right? They don't even have the racing version pictured here, but it's different from even these cutout wings. Let's see, do they actually have one that shows that? Yeah, so totally different wings, but all of the Sabres, despite that, share paints. All of the Mirai Guardians share paints. And the MX versus the base Guardian, totally different size, different panels. Everything about it is different, but they share paints. So I am all for them introducing as many skins and paints as possible. But you cannot tell me that these ships are so distinct from each other that they cannot be bothered to just make the paints cross-compatible. That is BS. That's just not true. And what a change it would have been if they had just pulled themselves back a little bit and said, you know what? Let's throw a bone to our players. We misstepped with the Hermes. Let's make these paints cross-compatible. It lines up with every other variant that we've done in our game so far. And we can address that with the Hermes as well and fix that mistake too. But let's just make the paints cross-compatible. It's the same chassis, it's the same ship, except for the grabby hands, right? Paints should be cross-compatible.
Moth is a new hull based on an existing chassis, and that means it doesn't share paints with the Mole.
But we are making some really nice new paints for the Moth. So we're going to have a lot of two-tone paints coming in. So you'll see that we have decided to spice them up a bit.
So we're excited now that we have the full set of salvage ship sizes. We have you starting with the Salvation, moving to the Vulture and Fortune. Now we have the Moth, and then ultimately you end up with the Reclaimer.
It was very fun to work on, very nice to work on something industrial.
Just the little changes to the flow that we've had to make, opening up some areas just to allow a little bit of a smoother kind of gameplay experience has been really nice.
This is for the person who enjoys salvage gameplay but wants something bigger.
This ship would have been such a win for me if they had just not stuck their foot in it like that. They had just tried to be a little more forthcoming with their players. Would have changed everything. I do still think that they need to address the cargo capacity disparities between the Mole and the Raft, which are also the same ship. Same base chassis. It should make the cargo variant should definitely be carrying the most cargo. It shouldn't make more sense to pull out the Moth, the salvage ship, to do cargo ship to do cargo ship stuff. Paints should be cross compatible. I do not buy their reasoning for that. That is just BS. Nope. Does not work for me. And by the way, the Hermes that they are referencing, that is so different from the Apollo that it still says triage on the floor when you step into the medical area, or what would have been the medical area. When you cross that door threshold, you look down at the floor, still says triage. So that's how different they are, that they can't share paints. It still has the decals from the original referencing its medical capability. So make that make sense, CIG. But other than that, other than those two glaring issues, cargo capacity and getting jerked around on paints, I think it's a great ship. I think it has a definite role where it makes a lot of sense. It does a lot of things better than the pre-existing salvage ships. And I love that it is auto-ejecting. That's the thing that I hate the very most about the Vulture. I hate taking that thing out because I have to get out and move it myself all the time. I do not enjoy that aspect. So the fact that you can just auto eject here, great stuff. Would have been a solid win, but it's CIG. They had to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So there we go. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And until next time, this is Odd Job Entertainment, signing off. But the stream continues, guys. Don't go away. We are still live. We've got more to go over. That was, hopefully I will actually remember to turn that into a video later tonight. Let me make a note of it, actually. I'll put it on my notepad. Make video from segment about Moth. Oh, got a little heated. Sorry about that. All right, now that we are kind of over the frustrating parts, let's get into playing the game and going over some of the things I've been learning about these new Virpil sticks. So first thing that I did, I had to do this a couple times actually, because I think what was happening is both Joystick Gremlin and Star Citizen were holding on to the memory of the VKBs. And so that was causing some issues when I was trying to find the right devices. So now things are properly fixed. I've got all of my buttons assigned for our virtual joysticks. We can open up. If someone gets in the co-pilot seat, the main pilot loses control of the ship right now. Are you serious? I mean, I like that you can hand over controls of the to the co-pilot, but isn't that something that we've already addressed with previous ships that could do that? Defeat from the jaws of victory. Okay, so let's actually pull up Arena Commander, because I don't want to crash myself with the testing we're going to do. Let's just do free flight so that we don't bother anyone else. So, one of the most common buttons that I use is the recenter, right? So if I intentionally look off like this, you can recenter the head tracking. Very important if you're using something like Toby, right? So I've got that mapped to the push on the farthest right hat. I also have power mapped to both of these hats on the right stick, the ones that are accessible from the thumb on the flat face. The left one increases power with a hold setting it to max. Pulling it back resets it. And doing the same action on the rightmost stick decreases. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of that mapping so far. I would love to get a way to condense those more, where it's only one hat doing all of the power management, because I'm finding that when I am trying to adjust power levels, my thumb is getting confused and will fat finger it and do the wrong one at times. It's not the end of the world, like nothing super bad happens there, but I do want that to be faster and more intuitive so that I can do that more easily mid-fight. On the lower thumb buttons, I have those mapped to countermeasures. Right? So noise and decoy. Center press on the right mini analog stick is camera cycling. So clicking that moves the camera. A click and hold does the cinematic camera mode. So now I'll have an easier time of doing these kinds of follow shots when we're using missiles and torpedoes and stuff like that. I think this also applies to bombs. Oh, that startles me every time. So that's just a press and hold. And then the analog stick itself controls the camera movement. So that part is very similar to what I was doing on the VKB sticks, just having the analog stick be my camera controls. I don't yet have the left analog stick doing anything, right? That's totally useless right now. The next function that I have controlled on the right stick is the operator modes. So let's see, actually missiles still. So if I scroll up on the thumb wheel, I can adjust the number of equipped missiles. If I click it, it will cycle through the different missiles that I have available. Because we're in the cutter, yes, this is the cutter. Right? What's the newest one? Anyways, whatever this ship is, because we're in this little tiny Drake ship, it only has one type of missile equipped, so it doesn't do anything. But scrolling up and down changes the number of equipped missiles. There is a three-way hat, or up, down, and center press on the far side over here. I don't have that doing anything yet. But then the thumb hat where your thumb rests, so the neutral hat is what I call it, that one is doing the sub-target management. So when you have a target selected and you want to hit their engines, you use this hat to manage that. So pushing it to the right cycles forward, pushing it to the left cycles back. And I actually need to check my cheat sheet here because I think it does a little bit more than that. But yeah, pulling back is hailing the target. Pressing it is to reset to main. And then I don't currently have forward assigned to anything. For my main axes, I have pitch, yaw, and roll. And then the pinky button on the right stick is the landing gear.
Landing gear up.
Right, then on the left stick, we have forward and back, left and right. Probably better to show it from this view. And then up and down. So, oops, sorry. You guys can't even see the stick. Those axes are just how you're imagining them. Forward is pushing the stick forward. Backwards is pulling it back. Right, left. And then up and down. Okay, the right trigger I have set to precision mode. Basically, I think of it as like my right click, right? So in FPS modes, that would be your aim down sight. This is my aim down sight as a spaceship. I don't have the second level set to anything currently. Is that true? Oh, no, actually it's precision cam follow. So when you have a target selected, it will help guide your reticle a little better. Alright, left trigger is fire missiles in missile mode. In scanning mode, it activates your scan. And in gun mode, Stage 1 fires Group 1. Stage 2 fires Group 2. Because we don't yet have our split trigger mod, you don't get the ability to separate the stages. We'll be working on that. I do have the brake lever on the left stick assigned to brake in game. So I now have a brake axis. I didn't have that before. That part's kind of cool. I don't have the flip triggers assigned to anything on either hand yet. I do want to utilize that functionality. I haven't figured out a good use for them yet. The hat switches on the left stick, I have on this this hat switch, on the flat face, I have up is toggling G safe, back toggles VTOL, and then right doesn't do anything yet. We should start seeing the ship fall because center press is decouple. Very slowly, I guess. And then left sets cruise mode. The farthest stick to the left, or farthest hat switch to the left, up does lights, which they're on right now. You can't really tell. Isn't there an indicator somewhere on the HUD though? Maybe it's not applied here in Arena Commander. Center press is request landing. Down is request cargo. I do want those to be separate just because when you are doing stuff with the hull C, it gets confused sometimes and doesn't always do what you want. And then right is cycle config. This isn't a good ship to demonstrate that because it does not have different configurations. But that would retract or extend the spindles on something like the hull C it would it should do the wings on the Corsair, things like that. So any ship that has different configurations, that's what it'll do. The three-way hat, so up, down, and press. The center press toggles the master mode, and then up and down cycles the different operator modes. The issue that I'm having with that is I'm not a super fan of the center press. That one's kind of hard to activate, if I'm honest. So one of the mods that I'm considering would be a way to try and make that center press more easily distinguishable from up and down. And we might be able to pull that off with a different hat shape. So keep an eye out for that. The topmost button on the left stick does lamp, and this ship does not have it. So I can't demonstrate that here, but it does lamp. Let's see. And then the only other remaining control is the neutral hat for the thumb on the left side, and that is my targeting. So I have it as up is pin and unpin, center click is target under reticle, pulling it towards you is target closest, and then you can cycle targets by doing left and right. So left is back, right is forward target. And then the pinky button is flight ready. So those are my current keybinds, and let's do this. I will go ahead and save that. And then, let's see, I think we can do it from here. Yeah, there we go. Look at us, we're cruising. So I will copy that and share it in our Star Citizen chat. So if you want to use this exact setup, you can give that a shot. And I'll even send this. So there you go. You can give those a shot if you so desire. You will probably need to tweak them a little bit in order to get them to play nice with your specific setup, getting everything to track the correct control, things like that. But those are my keybinds. For this next part, I need you guys to be able to see both of the sticks, because there is a little bit of an issue that I'm having with the spring and damp rate. So let's make the camera angle a little more risque. So there's two things you need to watch here. Keep an eye on my velocity meter. That time it did properly reset. Okay, but see, that time it didn't. We are still moving forward a little bit. So if I ease the throttle back, it doesn't reset all the way. And that can be a problem when you are trying to navigate real tight spaces. If you're doing a bunch of maneuvers in open space, it doesn't really become an issue. But what I've been running into is when I am doing something like a asteroid base in Pyro, and you're trying to hide from the turrets, you're moving very slowly through these itty bitty spaces. Suddenly that becomes very painful to do, because doing the small throttle movements, you can get the throttle stuck. So we're going to increase the spring rate of the left stick to adjust for that, which is something that we can do somewhat easily. First thing we need to do is unplug it. And then this is where I need the Allen keys we were playing with. And let's set this to cam mode for the camera scene. I think it's this one. Nope, too big. We need the dark green one. And while I'm taking this apart, I'll see. Is there an angle that gets you guys? What I'm undoing is these screws right around the connector. That has to come undone in order to access the springs. But the reason why I am changing the springs is I've already adjusted the damping down to the point where if it goes any lower, I'll get quite a bit of over travel from the sticks. So if I did something like that, it's going to swing like all the way to the side and it doesn't feel controlled. I don't want that for the throttle. I do want to try and maintain a light feel on the right side. So I'm okay with that feeling a little looser, but I want to have more damping built into the left side. But I don't want it to be giving inputs that I'm not thinking about. So after you do those front screws, then you undo these 4 screws around the perimeter of the case. And the springs are not accessible from the bottom, so you do have to take off the connector and the top case. So this is the fastest route to get there. It's 8 screws. All right. There's a look at the internals. So it comes with the yellowed steel pre-installed. We have 2 additional sets of springs that we can use. And I need to double check and make sure that I know which one is the one that I want to install. I'm thinking that I just want to go to the middle set, which I think is the silver. I have silver and black. I think black is your heaviest, but I want to make sure. Right now I'm just on the Virpil website. User manuals. switch back to this screen for a little bit so you guys can follow along. Okay, seriously? Oh, okay. Actually, it is the base that I need to be looking at, isn't it? So Warbird D base, that's what I have. So I did change these to the, well, sorry, I changed the cams on the right stick to be the Cosmo cams with no centering. And it's subtle the way that those are marked, but there's a little notch on the back. The Cosmo cams no center is the only one that does not have a notch. So that's what is installed on the right stick right now. So there's no soft center. It's supposed to make it so that it's a little easier to do those small axis movements. It comes with the AviaCam soft centers by default. And now we have these installed. I'm keeping the centering on the left stick because I do want to know when it is actually centered. And it looks like I was right. Silver is going to be heavy spring. Black is the extra heavy spring. So, got our two little springs here. We can switch back to cam scenes that you guys can follow along a little better. Now, the next tricky part is I don't think there's necessarily a great way of attaching the springs. Do they have any tips here? Yeah, they show how to like do it by detaching the cams, but I don't want to do that. So okay, this might okay, this is tricky. Trying to. Okay, thankfully, there's no electronics behind where I'm trying to flick this. Doesn't it come off? Okay, there we go. That's one spring released. Get the other one off. Oh, that one was so much easier. Holy cow. Now, let's see how heavy these heavy springs are. Am I going to be able to do this? Or does this turn into that famous moment on Twitch where a streamer loses their eye by launching a spring at their face? Wow, talk about comedic timing, right? I could not have planned that better. Eyes still intact though. Okay. Seriously, immediately launched a spring at my eye. I guess don't jinx yourself, right, Odd Job? Come on. Woo! Wow. That is definitely a tougher spring. Holy. All right. Now for the other side. I think it's going to be a bigger pain in the butt. Oh, come on. Oh, it was over the hump. It was over the hump, and then I pulled it off. All right. One more time. Okay. It's there. It's on. Beautiful. Wow. That is a tough spring. Thankfully, it is well designed in the aspect that I think it would be nigh impossible to damage your electronics changing the springs. Okay, and it is quite a soft aluminum, so when you're tightening up your case screws, don't go crazy. It also is kind of a little tricky to get things to be flush. There's a little bit of a margin of error where it can float around on top a little bit. Getting things to feel seamless isn't entirely trivial. That feels pretty good though. Okay, that's those ones done. Where did the other screws go? Oh, they're over there. We're good. If it doesn't immediately go in the connector, you are misaligned. Don't force it. Again, it's just aluminum. Don't go crazy. Now we can plug that in. Okay, it's definitely a stiffer spring. Big surprise, right? Let's see what that translates to in game. Oh, let's see. Something's going on here. Oh, that turned off. Okay, brake was stuck on. So that happens sometimes. Okay. Here's the big test. Let's ease it back gently. Okay. On the faster movements, I think it's doing great. If we ease it back, though, we still can get an error. Side to side is good. Okay, that was real slow there. So, and just a finger tap fixed it. I think that's probably pretty good, though. We can adjust damping ever so slightly. And that will probably fix it. Yeah, there we go. So that was literally a quarter turn. That was all. Now the downside of having to go up on the spring tension is that you're up on the spring tension. So let's see. How can I quantify this? I'm trying to think of like a bicep curl weight that this feels like. It's not massive, but it's not nothing either. It's probably like 5 pounds of force to pull it in and push it out. Where the standard springs, it's, I don't know exactly what it would be, but it's significantly less than that. I do have a force gauge somewhere. We might have to like pull that out for the official review and do like some actual like trigger pull test. Another downside that I've noticed with the Virpil sticks is particularly with the Z-axis. Across its motion, it does feel very smooth, and I find that I have an easier time initiating a movement, so there's less stiction, there's less friction to overcome at that initialization of a movement. But because everything is metal, when you reach the end of the travel, it feels kind of harsh. So I'm actually considering adding some felt pads to that. The other thing that happens is when you're doing some rapid inputs, it's very easy to get some phantom inputs. Like here I'm just kind of flicking to the right. Just if I'm really paying attention to that z-axis, let's see, let's get ourselves level. If I'm just moving the across X, this is what it should look like. But if I do a snappy motion, you can kind of see the issue. If you're not really paying attention to that, you're getting some z-axis input, which in this case is roll. It's not the end of the world, but it does feel like it's a little overly sensitive and oversprung. Oversprung means that when you give it an input and you let it come back, it does overshoot a little bit. Not as bad as the other main axes, but it is there. I think it would highly benefit from just a little bit of damping, which is another mod that we are going to be making. I'm going to make essentially a friction collar that attaches to the bottom of the joystick and then pushes a little piece of felt or rubber or some other kind of grippy material against the rotation axis, and by adjusting the screw tension you'll be able to adjust your damping. It's the same way the clutches work on the inside of the base. Same idea, but we're going to add it to our z-axis where I do think it is sorely missing. So now that we've changed our springs and we've gone over all the controls, let's angle you guys back up. And let's actually play the game. So the thing that I've been grinding for lately is I'm really trying to get my hands on more of the newest attachments that have been added. And yesterday I found quite a few of them at Jumptown. So I know that they do spawn there. But I've also heard that they spawn at the distribution centers. So we're going to take this opportunity to load up a ground vehicle and take that to one of those locations and try that out. And if you take a NERSA to a distro center, it really does kind of trivialize trying to clear out all those enemies. So I think that's going to be our move tonight. Oh, look, we got 3 refinery orders we can pick up. I was doing those for AA. I have that completed, so I don't know that I really care about them anymore. Or how those got here. Oh, there's another one. Let's see, can we find number 4? Where's the 4th wheel? Those are cyclone wheels, aren't they? 1, 1, 2, 3. I don't see a fourth wheel. I'm not going to spend that much time looking for it.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System.
Ground vehicles still can't be pulled up in the freight elevator, can they? Let's see. We have this. Let's get that one queued up. And then let's get this one queued up. And if I have the Hercules here, it should give me a large hangar, right? Nope. Okay.
Welcome to the ASOC Vehicle Retrieval System. Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us again.
Now we'll have a large hangar. And unfortunately, I need something else first. So I need this.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. You'll please visit us again. Goodbye.
Oh. Okay. Chill out. Everything's good. I should stay away from the landing gear. Okay, let's see. I need a tractor beam. Hangers, man. I really thought I had one. You know, we're just going to try and get a little fancy with the controls. Nursa creates its own gravity, right? So once I walk into here, is it going to flip me over? Not quite. It's okay. This is so scuffed.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
Is there a flip button? Oh, do I not have cycle? Let's see. Cycle button. Cycle camera button isn't doing anything. Oh, that did something. Yes, that's fine. Why are those wheels... not set those keybinds either? How sloppy are my keybinds? Oh, you know, just the usual. I am looking for attachments for my guns. What, you don't oh! You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. Oh, let's not get under that. Oh, no. Shoot. Okay. Alright, there we go. That's the controls. Pro gamer. Look at this. You just don't do anything, and then it eventually flips itself. Perfect. Ooh, let's try ramming that. Maybe we can get to... Get up! That's not going to do anything. I'm trying to get this NERSA loaded onto the C2 here so that I can use it to go loot items. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to open the ramp, and that'll probably fix it. All right. Well, let's set this. So we get 2 respawns on this guy, which I think will actually be plenty for what we're planning on doing here. Okay, I should have enough ammo that I can at least get started. Alright, now I need first guide. And I need a hostile distro center. Maybe there isn't one on Daymar. On Yellow? Is there one selling? Underground facilities, those are just the bunkers. That's definitely not it. Not what I'm looking for. Okay, all right. I guess we are going to Hurston. Gray Cat and Dupree.
journey worth taking. Systems on.
I hate that the map defaults to being zoomed in on your ship. And this clustering around Hurston is literally a cluster. It's terrible. Please fix that CIG. Come on.
Request has already been granted.
No, it hasn't. I just sent it. The request has already been granted. It's lying to me.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Hey, first jump.
Travel engaged.
I will be right back. So, I mentioned the issues that we're having with the Maxwells a little bit ago. Odyssey is sending me a new dongle that may fix it. I've been doing some research, and it seems like there is some issues where the Maxwells struggle when there's too much 2.4 gigahertz interference. I do have two routers in this room. One is brand new for the VR headset. The other is the one that we've had for a long, long time. The issue existed before I got the new router. I don't really think that it's because of signal saturation. It may have gotten worse when we got the new router, because there is more going on. I'm trying to be hopeful, but I'm honestly not that optimistic that the new dongle is going to fix it. So, if you have a fantastic wireless headset that you just absolutely love and adore, feel free to drop some recommendations either in the comments or on the Discord. If the new dongle doesn't fix my issue, we may be needing to get a refund and try something else out. I will warn you, I am a little bit of a audio snob. I really like these planar magnetic wired headphones, and I used those for many, many years. And one of the things that I was really stoked about with the Maxwells is the fact that they are also planar magnetic headphones. So I want high quality sound, but I also want reliable sound, and these Maxwells have been letting me down as of late. Maybe the dongle will fix it, though.
Quantum travel engaged.
Get rid of global. Nothing good ever happens to global anyways.
Quantum travel complete.
Okay, so I forgot to mention ping. I have that set to left scroll wheel click, and then adjusting the scroll wheel changes the scan angle.
Shields on.
What is that ahead of me? Okay, that's a Pisces. Okay, there's the first turret. A little bit frustrating that you can't really scan them until it's too late. That's not another turret. Oh shoot. I want... Wait. That's an... Oh, that must be an FOB.
Landing gear down.
Want to get it a little... Want to get it on a flattish spot. This looks good enough. Turrets aren't aggroed. So, I think we're good.
Complete. Engines off.
I'm a little nervous having that turret be visible. But we like to live dangerously, right? Where's that button? There we go. There's that button. Oh wait. Dang it. Forgot to open the door. At the end of the day, is it the end of the world if this ship gets blown up? No. Like, whose line is it anyways? The points are made up and doesn't matter. Okay, I don't remember turning that off. Oh, abandoned stations have decent attachments. I checked those out the last couple days. I actually got more attachments from one run at Jumptown than I did with numerous runs at the asteroid bases. Oh, there we go. Now the turrets are pissed. No one else can get in either. I don't care. I'm not above abusing mechanics, so we'll just exit to menu when I want to get back there. Whoa. Little spicy there. Jumptown locations are roughly where all of the new ones spawn right now. I've heard that they also spawn here though, right? At these distro centers. I am still on the hunt for another Palatino set that I can eventually turn that in for my test armor set with Wicklow. Most commonly at the Jumptown locations? Okay. We can head there next. My thought was maybe that with the number of possible spawn points that this would be a good option, but if it ends up being a bust, it won't be the end of the world. Am I looking for the same style of crates, though? The long, flat green ones? I don't see any NPCs. Kind of odd, actually. See, that's another issue when when the axis doesn't reset fully. I flip the stick behind me, and then I have issues where it's still moving. Okay. If anything, just the green boxes, and orange if we find them. Oh, I don't see those all the time. Might as well grab that. I am a little low on weaponry right now. I find some... Oh, I thought it was S71. I don't care about that one. If I find some P4 ammo, that'd be clutch. Clutch, as the kids say. Snag these. Oh, actually, that red box might have some pens in it. I should grab that. Do you have a list of the preset locations? Because, I mean, if we can speed that up. I will happily do so. Oh, I just got baited so hard. That looked so much like an orange box from a distance. That was... You guys probably saw it clearer than I did, but I just got my hopes up so high. Have them dashed. That hurt. Okay, so blue boxes are just going to be a bunch of foodstuffs. They aren't going to be worth checking. A little stuck there. Glad we were able to get out. Be a crummy way of ending the run. Okay, I keep... Let's see, where is it? Let's do that. That should make it so I have to hold it. Yes. Okay, good. Kept sprinting when I didn't necessarily want to, so... Gives my fingers a bit more of a workout, but... This is easier to control. There's never anything good up these towers, is there? Another green box. Hope we got something. Nope. Yay, it's raining! Oh, what is UNE gold ingot? I haven't seen that one before. I wonder if it's good for anything. Nice. Got some P4 ammo. So a little few extras now. Alright. You guys ready to see the fast way down? If you just hop level to level, you won't take a lot of damage. See? I mean, we're only at 93%. That's negligible. I got double greens here. Lucky us. Look at this. Absolutely nothing good, though. Okay, this is... At least we got some P4 ammo. Got an orange laser. That's kind of cool. I don't care about the rest of that. And this is just a ground vehicle. I think I'll just do mouse and keyboard. Jeez. Hey, oh, man. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I do need to pull the sticks out. How useless am I on mouse and keyboard? That is pretty rough. I saw that green box too. I'll go get it. I just wanted to get that stage so that it would be kind of along the next sections we have to check. Another lumen. Blue box. We don't care about blue boxes. It's all about that green. Okay, I think there was a box. Here. There we go. I knew there was one. that. That's blue. This is one of the... That crane is one of the spawns for orange boxes, I know, so, and I see something up there. Might be something good. No, it's a blue box. Gamma Black Op. So, black sight. I don't know. Could be cool. We'll grab it. If I could find a single one of those flat boxes, it would at least confirm that they do spawn here and that we're just seeing low rates. But if I don't find any, that doesn't mean that they don't, it just means I didn't find any, and that's the frustrating part. Like, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. I think we're solid on P4 ammo. I appreciate you helping me out, game, on getting restocked, but please give me flat green boxes now. Alright, this is just going in a straight line. We can definitely do this on mouse and keyboard. Oh look, there's an NPC. I was gonna try and just take you out, but then you had to start responding. Backtrack a little bit. Oh, I thought that was someone's head. We already checked these ones, right? Yes. Okay, we didn't check this area. Green box. There. We're through. Very tight fit. Very tight fit. Maybe I should not have tried to come through here. .250E laser pointer. Is that just the standard laser pointer, or is maybe it's a special color? We'll find out. That's blue. That's blue. Ah, man. Oh, just a music cue. I thought that was an explosion. Had me worried there for a second. Don't know what part that is. Not here for parts, though. I'm here for weapon loot. I'm just not finding any. Someone left some armor there. Huh, there are some components spawning. Quite a few of them, huh? That's a player box, right? So probably nothing good in it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here for this site. I am just not finding any of those boxes. I think if they did spawn here with some consistency, we would have seen one by now. So it's been good for getting P4 ammo. There's apparently more NPCs spawning. I hear some voices. I should not have shot. Dang it. Now it's recognizing me as being in hostile territory. Oh. Okay, they can see me. Saw some green boxes over there, but it's not. Get it. This is where I meant to bring the vehicle. I don't know why I brought it into this parking lot. That was dumb. That is an S71. Patch up. There we go. And we use the menu to teleport back to Seraphim. Crap, that's where it's going to send it. Oh, but okay, Jump Town's close by. We can do that. I found a lot more of those attachments much faster at Jump Town. The tricky part to Jump Town is finding it. You can't quantum to it. Does it spawn at places though like Ninetales 999? Does it spawn at those sites too? Because you can jump to those. But those are bunkers though, right? I haven't had good luck finding them in bunkers. Hey! Let's go ahead and deposit, though, the stuff that we did pick up. At least the things that we don't need here. Drop these things off. These. That.
Hi.
Hey! Hello. That NPC's so polite. Just saying hi to everybody.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval. Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us.
Going to Jump Town doesn't super matter which ship you take. But I do like the stealthy approach. In case there are ships there, I can see them before they see me. Right, chat. Nothing helpful there. And I mean, the saber just looks cool. So you can't set the route there, but we can go to TPF, which is just south of it. This button.
You are clear to launch. Launch complete.
A lot of people just bring something you can bed log in. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Let's bring a ship with a bed. That's a good idea. That way we can re-roll basically, right? So we know that they do spawn there. We'll have an easier time getting them.
Vehicle retrieval system.
So in that case, one of the Mirais. Oh, both of those are inaccessible. When did I get a salvation? I swear this was a Taurus in the last patch. I do not remember buying a salvation, but I'd even been a Scorpion. Man. This game sometimes, guys. Whoa.
You'll please visit us again.
What the weirdness going on there?
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Let's try that again.
We're sorry.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, salvation.
That is an advance. You'll please visit us again. Goodbye. Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
I'm just being picky, aren't I? Let's just take the terrapin. You can bed log in a terrapin, can't you?
Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
Can you? It's a no. Okay. Take the Nomad. Nomad, I know we can.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Please visit us again.
Never actually bed logged in a Nomad. I'm pretty sure it has a bed though, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Right there. We're solid. And I think the Nomad does have lamp. So we have that going for us with this guy.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
You are clear to launch.
Launch complete.
Let's see. Yes. Check that out. We got lamp. And this has the nice one because it's a little more full color. It's just basically an intense white. So you get a little more color contrast.
And please visit again.
Okay, do I need to set the route again? Gee, I can't wait to set the route again. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Looks like it's going to be on the light side of the planet, so we won't need our lamp. Nice to have it, though, you know. Ooh, that looks kind of fancy, doesn't it? But yeah, way too bright. Oh, blinding. It's like turning bright mode on. Sorry, guys. That's probably really bright for you guys, too.
Quantum travel complete.
So, navigating in Star Citizen, kind of frustrating to do with the map being the way that it is. First, you zoom out all the way because pulling you to the closest zoom on the moon would be too difficult. But one thing to keep in mind is north stays oriented up. And we're trying to get to Jump Town. We're currently close to TPF. So if we set a 0 heading from here, I think we need to get a little lower. They are decent sticks. I talked a lot more about them at the start of the stream. So if you're looking for my thoughts on them, yeah, you might want to check back for the VOD. I'm not actually that thrilled with them, though. I think for the amount of money that they cost, they should be perfect, and I don't think they are. I think the Z twist is oversprung and hypersensitive, and I think it's in desperate need of some damping. Luckily, though, I happen to be the guy that has a channel dedicated to making sim equipment better, so I will just have to get on that. Definitely will benefit from having my split trigger mod. I'd also like to make some mods relocating some buttons to make them just a little easier to access. Yeah, they're good sticks in a lot of ways, but I just wish they were probably a little bit smaller to be more of a generalist size. Some of the controls are hard to reach when they are on the palm side of the stick. Okay, see, so we're right up next to it. We need to go 270. Why is it playing scary music? Why are we playing scary music, game? Is it just, did it send some Valacar down below me and now it's just freaking out? Because there's literally nothing else on the scanner that would register as a hostile. Okay, let's check our heading again. Wait, or is that it? Take a quick look around, I suppose. Okay, if you creep up on it, it will separate enough that you can see where you need to go. So, oh, okay, passed it. It was down at the 7-ish position. So it's going to be this ways a little bit. Maybe more this way. I did use this method to find this place yesterday, so I do know that this works. Finding these places is just a little frustrating. Is that it? Saw some irregular geometry. Ah! Look at this! We founded it!
Landing gear engaged. Engine systems disabled.
Yeah, the lights would have been very helpful. We don't need no lights. I do need the door to open. Thank you, game. Moonwalk off. I don't know how to close it. Whatever. There's no one here at the moment. I think we're good. So when I was here last time, I actually found all of the boxes on the rooftop. Which you can access by coming on this ramp here and then climbing your way up. Ah, look at that. First one. First box of the night. F-55. Let's grab that. I already have an AO3. Oh, don't care to pick that one up. There's a lot of geometry that could easily get you killed here, isn't there? Like, you would just be struggling to navigate a little bit and get caught on a wall, and then you get beamed. Oh yeah, that's right, low grav. We should use that to our advantage a little bit. And these boxes are just rage bait. They do not actually contain anything. Very frustrating. This one might, though. No. Sometimes they hide real boxes among the fake boxes. But they'll have a slightly different green tinge to them. Okay, well, this jump down kind of sucks. Like, nothing here. Last time, I seriously found, like, 4 boxes up here. It was sweet. Especially because I had just died in Pyro. I don't think any boxes spawn in these storage areas. So, let's see. So here's the door. Let's check the inside. Imagine there's a player right here. They've just been waiting this whole time. I mean, it is a PvP area. You do still need to be careful. The drug incentive is not nearly as good as it is as it's been in other patches, though. I think most of the people that would be coming here today are probably doing the same thing I am, trying to find weapon attachments. And like me, they're probably very disappointed. Man, this is not making me look good on camera, guys. I seriously, like, it was just yesterday. I came here, found a bunch of boxes. But I guess that is why we brought our bed, right? All right, thanks for hanging out, Wills. Feel free to just leave the stream running. Okay, there we go. EU, here we go. Let's see how bed logging turns out for this patch. I've seen it all across the board in my time. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes you end up inside a planet. Sometimes you end up on another planet. did end up in the ship. Oh, and it looks like we are right next to it. Oh. These are ship parts. Means the player was here somewhat recently. There is a terrapin here. Alright, we'll keep our eye out. What time is it in Europe? Okay, why am I getting stuck on that? Just let me go up the ladder. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, here's a box. Please have something. Oh! Yeah, that's new. Two and a half times scope. Hey Google, what time is it in the UK right now? No. You're seeing nothing? Okay, so yeah, odds of someone being in game are somewhat low, right? I mean, unless they're unemployed. Kid. That was the only time I had time to play at 6 in the morning. So I'm probably pretty safe. There's probably no one here with that terrapin. Ooh, sneaky. Alright, cool. We got 2 of those now. I mean, I'm not upset about finding newish attachments, but it would be cool to get variety over quantity. Ooh, I almost missed this one. That would have been embarrassing. Scalpels are nice. And grab it. Might end up ditching it for something else if I need space.
Danville Aerospace. All systems online.
That'll bait them out. If they are here. And let's equip one of these new sites. I swear we picked up 2 of these. Where'd that other one go? Ooh. That's clean. I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. If they were still in game, though, that would have given me a crime stat for blowing up their ship, right? So I'm feeling safer now. Shells. Take that. This is where Wills was saying he found the majority of his boxes was inside, but inside is turning out to be a bust for me every time. I don't think we found a box that we're looking for inside. Just different RNG, I guess. Okay, I want to see if I missed picking up that site. That's right, we had to do some shenanigans to get up because the ladder's not working. These boxes. That one looks clean. It looks like it could have something, but it's not. This was the one that had it, wasn't it? Oh, see? Now it just... Let's put it on that. Why is that? Okay. You see it too, right? There it is. Okay. So it was just an inventory bug. We're good. Check these. Oh, shoot. Wrong button. Well, why does setting favorite actions not work? From what I've read, you're supposed to be able to just middle click. And then that would set that as a favored action. Doesn't seem to work. And it very much disappoints me. Now, I think this probably put me back on... Oh, I didn't check the name. That would have been an easy thing to do. I think this probably put me back on the same server I was on before. But there should have been enough time for boxes to cycle their spawn. See, we found one here last time, didn't we? I don't see any ships. Had quite a few sniper rifles. Those aren't terrible finds. I know the Aves is a subscriber armor, but I don't like it. Not going to waste inventory space on it. Guess I could sell it. But right now, the economy is completely screwed up. So, I mean, I don't even... Fortunately, I don't even want to do anything with UEX right now. Ooh. Nice. Another new attachment there. That one's an executive. We need to take that one. See, they do hide lootable boxes in the bait boxes. You want to make sure you're paying attention. That sun is playing tricks with my mind. It's making me think that, like, there's headlights on me, and there's not. Ooh, might be a box. No. We'll go counterclockwise this time. I think that will give us better luck. Oh, look, it did. We found a box. Ooh, nice. Ripper SMG. Whatever. I'll take those. Okay, so that's the entire site checked. Suppose the prudent thing would be to at least check these exterior boxes, see if I find anything spawning in there. If I find a box, then it tells me that I need to check them more often. Like, while I'm here, it doesn't hurt, right? Unless someone, like, shows up suddenly and kills me. Guess that could happen. A lot of hidey holes. Guess that's kind of the point, though, isn't it? Yeah, that's a player box, so we're good on that. Ooh, this has zoom? Okay, but it only did the... It zoomed in and then it's not letting me zoom out. This game sometimes, guys. Go, give it a little hop. Okay, Now, let's take our wares back to Seraphim.
Welcome. Your journey begins now. All systems operational. Landing gear retracted.
Alright. We have an easy view of Crusader. No, we do not. This game sometimes, guys.
Quantum travel engaged.
Still quantum travel bugs after all these years. I need to get on that. Wait, no. Wait, yes. We were just on the dark side of the moon. We need to get on the light side, then we'll see Crusader. So we jump down here.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel
Be right.
complete.
One more.
Quantum travel engaged.
Should
Quantum travel
be right. Where is Crusader? Surely it'll let me route now, though, right? Oh, there's Crusader.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete. Quantum travel complete. Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
And now we can use lamp. Look at that. Oh, such a great feature. To finally have night vision on our ships. What do we think? Am I lined up? Look at that, like a pro. Could be a little better. Could be a little more centered, huh?
Engine systems disabled.
All right. So let's check out the stuff we got. We got 2 of these. Maybe it doesn't zoom. Am I crazy? No, it's supposed to zoom. It's just not wanting to right now. And then this one's stuck on the max zoom level. Not great. Let's see, what else do we got? It's not letting me see the stats. Torrent compensator 1. Aim time plus 15. Spread minus 20. Aim recoil plus 15. Visual recoil minus 30. Recoil time minus 15. Fire rate plus 7.5. So, let's see. Do we have an SMG? No, we do not. Well, I mean, it won't go on a Ripper, though, will it? Or the Parallax, or Quartz? Like, it needs to be a ballistic SMG. That's what I mean. Let's find out. Oh, wait. I do have a Custodian. Oh, and I have the Lumen. Those are SMGs, but will it work for... No. Maybe the Custodian? Oh, it does actually work for the Custodian. Wait, okay, this one doesn't. Maybe that one will work for the Lumen then? Nope. Weird. So... Oh, flash hider. Okay, so the compensators don't work for the energy weapons. And I don't expect this to work either, right? Yeah. Nope. Okay, let's go buy an SMG real quick then. Thankfully, this is an American station, so you can just pick it up at your local pharmacy.
Hey. Hey.
I can't remember. Okay, armor shop. See that around the corner.
Hey there.
This will have a gun for me. Oh, good. We do have a P8. Let's buy that directly into the backpack. And let's get some ammo for it. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, do they have C-54? No, they do not. Crafting cannot come soon enough, my guys. If I could just craft the ammo, then I'd be saved. Hold on, wait a second. I'm not being dumb, am I? There's not another store. Let's be smart. Let's check the map. Armor shop. Oh, there is live fire weapons. Okay. Over here. Beautiful. All right. Give me some ammo. Oh, let's set this in the backpack. P8. P8 SC ammo, please. Okay, cool.
I think you're going to be happy with that.
Thank you. I think I will too. Alright, so, all said and done, we did find that torrent compensator. We found a number of sniper rifles. We also found the 2.5 to 5x variable zoom scope. I think that's going to be pretty useful for a lot of the LMGs and assault rifles, where you can reach out to longer distances, but that 2.5 is a nice mid-ground for close and medium range. So I'm not upset about that. Now let's see how this compensator does. And do I have anything else from previous trips worth checking? Oh, yes, I do have this one. That one's cool. And let's see. Now I'm really glad that I grabbed this 2x sight for the P4, because doesn't play super nice with this 2.5x scope. Doesn't go back down on zoom level. Okay, we do have a size 3 and size 1 of that. So let's grab... Let's grab a P6 as well. That'll use our size 3s. Okay. So, no attachment equipped. Let's find a good... Oh, yeah. This is nicely lit. Okay, so, without doing any aim correction, bottom of the rhomboid there. Alright. So that's what our recoil looks like. Now we have the torrent compensator equipped. So, not a huge improvement. Right? But we kind of didn't expect that with this one. Again, looking at the stats, aim recoil plus 15, visual recoil minus 30. So, I mean, it'll look easier to control, but it's not going to actually change the recoil all that much. Spread a little tighter, so, you know, the random variation is going to be reduced a little bit, but it does increase your fire rate, so your DPS goes up a little bit with that one. This one, though, this is the Stoic Suppressor. More random deviation with the spread, dramatically reduced horizontal aim recoil, and a little bit of a buff to the vertical aim recoil, visual recoil down by a third, recoil time down by 20, and audible range down by a third. So you can see with that one, we didn't end up going to the left nearly as much on the light bar. So, I mean, if I do try to control the recoil on that one, it is still fighting you quite a bit. Right, like doing full auto, it's not amazing, but it is better than it was. Okay, not that one. This one. This is the Stark Compensator. Recoil time plus 10%, damage plus 17.5%, and fire rate minus 20. So this is kind of a... It fires slower, which I think is going to help quite a bit with the recoil, but then you also do more damage. So we still get a lot of that sideways travel with the recoil pattern. But honestly, I feel like I have an easier time controlling that because you do have a little bit more time to react between shots. Alright, so that is our size 1 stuff. I meant to equip that sight on P4. There we go. Put that gun away. Oh, this actually uses size 2s. Okay, I think we need an LMG then. Yeah, the F-55 uses size 3s. Let's do the FS9 though, because it doesn't have a spin-up time. So LMGs, you do take a movement penalty. Let's do 25 shots with this. So not controlling the recoil. It's very much straight up, right? And the FS9, pretty controllable gun anyways. What the heck? Wait, no, this one... Okay, alright, I read that wrong. Jeez. I can read, guys, I promise. Okay, you can't put barrel attachments on that one. Do I have anything currently that will take a size 3? I guess I do not. Okay. So I guess we will not test that one then. Sorry. Please go. Okay, inventory's bugged. The performance is quickly going downhill. It is the end of the night, so this is as good a time to stop as any. But we got a pretty decent haul. I'm not upset about those results. I am pretty curious to keep trying these out and see which ones work out in what scenarios. Might have to do some metagaming on a spreadsheet a little bit. But yeah, we got quite a few attachments. Just go to Jumptown. Don't do the distro centers. They suck. They don't have what you want. Yeah, Jumptown. Easy. So just do that. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all the YouTube things. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There we go. Got a little subscribe animation for you. The channel members animation is still scuffed. I haven't fixed it. It's gross. But thank you, Draconis and the Prime, for your financial support. It does make content like this possible. So if you want to see more, either subscribe, free option. If you do have the means to do so, financial contributions greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. But until next time, this is